when I hear them even come up to me in person or Snapchat me, they're like I hate that you had to like take steroids. Like I feel like there's got to be there's a complete difference. I hate being put in the same like ballpark as like the Sam Suleks. I don't really talk about this much, so like the whole, because I know like this is the question I asked you, like when does it get to a point, because obviously one of the main things that like people didn't like about me getting on is that I was so young, even though I thought it'd be smart to be open about it at least.
I think it's smart. I think that being honest and transparent is the best way to go, regardless. Yeah. Like, when in doubt, it's always better to tell the truth. It's like Jordan Peterson in the 12 Rules of Life, like, you know, always tell the truth, or at least don't lie. There's more trouble. Like, are you lying and getting away with it? Are you ever really getting away with it? You know what I mean? Like,
again, like people will have valid points to say like, Al, you should have just bulked up. That's valid, although I will say like I don't like being bulked up.
Yeah.
Right? My goal isn't to be a bodybuilder. My goal is to feel lean, aesthetic, and like make money for my physique.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's different than like somebody else. So like, but for me that wasn't like the way I wanted to go about it. And then I probably could have went like the enclomiphene route 100%. I think for me I was like, dude, that was like peak depression breakup for me when I was like I got tested, my shit was low, I was feeling terrible, I was like, fuck it, just
see. A point that Dura made was, what if using testosterone is preventing you from doing other things, going down a different path? So like, for example, sniffing creatine. And so if you're like depressed and you're like, hey, I have nothing to do with my life, I don't know what to do, I'm going to do gear and I'm not going to sniff creatine, I'm going to get my jacked physique versus I'm just going to party every weekend and party it away. It's like, that's a good argument. And I'm like, how am I supposed to judge somebody without living their life?
Yeah.
Like, everybody that says if you're too young to do HRT and it wouldn't do it, and they're right, they don't need to do it, and you had the money and the looks and you didn't need it, but like, they're not living in your body with the certain pressures that you would have felt to look a certain way or to make a certain amount of money, and your goals are different. And so how can they say what they would do without being in your shoes?
Yeah,
like,
that's valid.
if I was in your shoes, maybe I would have done a friggin' cycle of 1,000 tests and gotten jacked and tried to get an IBB Pro card. That might have been what I did, and you're only doing HRT. So to judge you and say, I can't believe he's on HRT, this is so stupid. Like, I literally did cycles for 10 years, so how am I supposed to say I'm any better? Like, it's like people are judging without knowing what would it be like to you. You can make millions of dollars based on your physique. How easy is it to say no to that? Like, people don't know how, when somebody's offering you $1 million to do something, would you have said no? They might say, oh yeah, I would have said no, because no one's asking them. Until you've been presented with such opportunity, how do you know what you would do in your shoes? That's what I see.
No,
I think most people in your shoes would have done HRT younger and with higher doses, is my honest opinion. I think most people would be too tempted. How do you say no?
100%. That's a good way to put it. I think people just see it as like, they try and, it's, again, everything should be like a case-by-case basis for everything. For judging anyone, for saying, like, for pointing fingers at anyone, should be case-by-case. Again, like, you can't, I agree with that. That's a good point, the way you kind of put that. Because there could be someone who, like, I guess was in the same situation I was in. They're like, fuck it, I'm going to go blast a full-ass cycle and just... You know what I mean? Because I've had friends who have done that. They've used like either a breakup or a traumatic event to be like their excuse to be like, all right, I'm going to go take like gram or two of gear and just get
How did it work out for the Trend Twins? Like, I like the Trend Twins, but would I have liked them more to be natural? Yeah, but maybe not. They're funny and entertaining, but like watching them get jacked and huge bench, almost 600, it's exciting. But they're not natural, and they're even younger than you.
Yeah, well, when we first met up, they were I believe, pretty sure, they were still natural when we met up the first time, I believe. And then when we lived together for a minute, and that's when they started taking like full-on like cycles and stuff. And then now I believe they're back to being on like TRT.
I think they're on a cycle now, I think.
I can't remember.
I would assume.
They always were pretty like, that had that personality beforehand, even on like being natty completely. And they still had like good physiques and whatnot.
Yeah.
But again, their name's the Trend Twins, so it's like...
Yeah. So how many people would be like, well, and I honestly don't think anyone's against the Trend Twins. They're called the Trend Twins. They're being themselves. They're doing their thing. And like, so what? But because you were natural for so long, it made it so much harder to be not natural.
Yeah.
But I was in your shoes. I was natural for 20 years. I did 42 shows natty, and then I went on gear. So I know what it's like to be natural and to avoid the temptations, but eventually I did it. When I was your age, I was so against steroids. It's like, I'll never do it.
Yeah,
and then fast forward whatever years, and I'm like, and I'm doing it.
Different situation, different circumstance. What's your opinion? This is, again, I'm just curious to see, because the amount, I'm sure you see I get quite a bit of hate now than I used to on social media. And a lot of it's for like maybe the TRT stuff. What do you think is the difference between, again, I guess you could say just because I was a natural guy, and I'm like, I chose to be open about it. I chose to explain everything in detail as why I did it. But comparing me to like Sam or the twins and like how they don't get nearly, I feel like, the amount of hate that I get.
Sam gets
for doing
one hate out of a million people.
Well, that's
Like,
what I'm
it's
saying.
the
But he's
opposite.
taking full on. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just curious what you think is the reason as to why, like, they will slam me for doing TRT and saying like I'm too young to be taking TRT with that. But then you got a guy same age as me who's blasting shit to try and compete at a high level, which is valid. That's what he wants to do. I'm not judging him, but I'm saying like the reaction you see in the community is what like I can't wrap my head around. I struggle with.
All right, so hear me out. This is exactly what I think. I think that it's because people were on your side and liked you because you're natural and you represented like peak Natty. This is our guy that represents us. Like, you know the singer Adele?
Yeah.
She lost like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Remember the hate she got for losing 100 pounds?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So she was representing. This is peak obese woman. You know, this is peak 200 something pound woman. She represents us. See, obese. She represents us.
Yeah.
People like this girl and they stand behind her. But then when she loses 100 pounds, she's no longer representing them. She's like switched to the other team, and so, well, we don't like her. And so you were peak Natty representing the Natties, and now you're not Natty, and so the Natties don't like you. If you had started on HRT at age 18, say, and was jacked at 18,
maybe it'd be different.
You would have a fan base of all TRT users and steroid users, and they would all like you. And then if you up the dose, they'd be like, yeah, go. And they would cheer you. Now, if you were on steroids and stopped, a lot of people would be like, what's
Probably
wrong?
the same.
I had that because when I started my YouTube channel, I was famous for, I was talking about SARMs, steroids, everything. I was using, hey, check out my Anavar cycle. I'm going to tell you exactly what it did. And when I stopped and started doing different videos, bring old Greg back. We want the Greg that calls us morons and is jacked on trend with striated chests and stuff. And it was hard for me because I knew if I do another bodybuilding show and I blast hella trend, I'm going to get way more views on that. The road to my next show. And so I had to sacrifice like fans and support.
It's almost like building a new audience.
It was it was like a crossroads because I was famous for using steroids. That's how I started my channel. And then I was like, now my channel is kind of like the anti-steroid guy, even though I'm on HRT. And so I had to kind of like navigate
so
that.
When you say, that point I kind of want to touch on too. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation. So a lot of the guys who looked up to me for being Natty, they just say like, when I hear them even come up to me in person or Snapchat me, they're like I hate that you had to like take steroids. Like I feel like there's got to be there's a complete difference. I hate being put in the same like ballpark as like the Sam Suleks.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be more knowledge of there is a difference. Like do you agree like there's between HRT and it's not, to me, I don't see it as like, oh, I'm Alex takes steroids now, because then you're like, okay, you're saying what? I'm taking like Deca Anavar test. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the, do you get what I'm saying?
There's a massive difference. Me and you are on essentially the same thing. You're on 20 more milligrams than me. So we're almost on the same exact cycle. It's very, very similar. Your test levels are a little bit higher than mine, but you could easily drop it slightly. And so we're about the same. I used to blast steroids. So is there a difference? Yes. So for example, have you ever seen Sam Sulek's blood work?
No.
Have we seen Mike Israel's blood work? Have we seen any of the world's strongest men's blood work? We haven't seen any of their blood work. How about Mike O'Hearn? We don't see their blood work because if we saw it, we would be mind blown on how bad it is. Like Sam Sulek, I'm a huge fan of Sam. Anyone that watches my videos are like, man, you like Sam a lot. Like I'm like, he's like the best thing. Even though I know that his health is horrible on blood, there's no way he prepped for that show and had like good blood work. So if I compared his to yours, his would be just, he would pray to have your blood work. So as much as we say like your blood work is bad, I'm sure that all pro bodybuilders, and this includes like a guy like Sebum, there's no way I believe that his blood work was good. Yeah. So you're doing it much more safely, especially where you're willing to listen and be like, because you're like in behind the scenes, like he's like, hey, can you explain to me about my kidneys? And like, it's not just like blasting recklessly. He's like, if I see my testosterone levels too high, you went down. You said you'd go down and you did. And so if you lowered your test to 100 and you got your blood work back, it's like you're doing everything you need to do.
Yeah, it's like so funny to me. It's like I choose to almost be over vulnerable about it, like showcasing the blood work, showcasing everything, and then it's like people choose to hate it even more, even though the people who aren't doing any of that just continue to be fully like supported for even doing something that's extremely bad. It's like the more vulnerable I choose it, which I don't care about. I understand social media's hate and whatnot. Like I'll always choose to still be vulnerable. But it's like they use more of that against me even more, even though I'm trying to showcase this is how I feel like everyone should be with it.
these people are trying to get at you because most of them are envious and or jealous. Envious being worse because they could never be. Jealousy is not so bad, but envy is bad. And so they're trying to find a way to get at you. You're here, like, come on, you're like good looking guy, lots of muscle, money, like you have everything going for you, and they're probably not quite at your level. And so anything they can do to snap at you.
Yeah.
For me, it's you're a 5'6" man. I'm like, yeah, but I'm 6'5" sitting on my wallet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so you just gotta like come
That's
back
a good one. That's
and so
good.
I gotta get you this personality test, like, because when people say this to me, like, because I'm very vulnerable, open, honest, transparent kind of guy. I just tell you what I think. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And if you don't like me, I don't give a shit. And so I think that I'm older too. I'm 49 because like I'm trying to picture me at your age, and I was more like something like body dysmorphia. When I gained body fat after a show, I'd be like, man, I'm fat. I don't like my like when you speak, I'm like, man, I've kind of felt like that when I was like in my early 20s. I think as you get older, you get more used to it.
Yeah.
So people are just trying to hurt you, and they don't know how, and so they're just poking at you. And what can they do? You're a fake net. You're on deck. Like they're just poking anything they have to get at you because they would wish they were you.
So then why is that not? I feel like a lot of people would wish to be like Sam and like those guys too. So why? Because that's valid though. I agree with that.
Sam's followers want to be Sam. My followers would want to be me. Some of them.
Yeah.
Yours, you, Hussein, him.
Yeah.
Marie, her. Like, we all have fans and supporters that would like to live our lifestyles, or we kind of like are the peak of whatever they're trying to achieve. And the haters are going to just do anything to get at you. Like, they're just make fun of you. Like, whatever it is, you're going to die. You're having a heart attack. Like, I get all the hate. But I always remember, and Togi's a big guy like this. He knows this. You need the haters to make you more popular. The haters are going to push you
that's
forward.
What Togi, he loves.
So the fact that he can lean into it, it makes me feel good because I can make my videos about him saying he's a horrible influencer.
Oh, he loves it.
Even though like he's being his authentic self, I'm like, promoting gambling and recreational drug use and all this is bad. Like, it's genuinely bad.
Oh, I hate that I did that.
But the fact that
thing.
he like can handle it, I like it because I like making videos against him. Like, these are some of my favorite videos. The fact that he's cool with it makes it more enjoyable for me, because if he wrote me in private and said, Greg, that last video, it really hit hard, I cried for an hour after you made it, how am I supposed to make this video about him? But the fact he says, no, I like Greg, man, he brings all the haters to me, I'm like, okay, like,
you feel like you can do it more, you feel better about it.
Yeah,
that's valid. Yeah, the gambling stuff.
I don't feel like I want to be a bully to somebody that is like genuinely like hurt by my video. Like, it's not. I don't want to like put people down like that.
I remember when you made that one. You made one on me, and you talked about like gambling stuff. I think at the time I wasn't in a good headspace. I wasn't open to receiving like criticism. I definitely was getting pissed. But looking back, I definitely needed it. I definitely like hate myself. I not hate myself. I feel fine now, but like, definitely hated that I did like the little gambling thing for a minute.
Yeah, I was at the Montreal airport, I remember, and I was on the phone with you, and we talked back and forth, and I was like, yeah, it's like, I'm trying to be honest, and I'm like, and with my personality type, the commander, it's like, I tell you what I think, and I'm not as caring about the empathy part, and I just have to tell you. And so I probably could have worded it nicer and stuff. I have what people say is tact. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to deliver a message to somebody, even though it's from a good place. I don't really know how to share it properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's valid.
So.
But no, I hated it. I'm so pissed. I made a whole video talking about how I regret doing that whole gambling.
Yeah, and then you stop. So, like, I mean, how can you hate on somebody for recognizing a mistake and then trying to do better?
Yeah, I think
like, it takes a big man to do that. Like, most people can't admit when they make a mistake, or they're like, no, they can't admit it.
I think there's an aspect of humbleness that like fixes literally everything. I mean the reason the devil fell was because of pride at the end of the day. So I think when you can have like humility in every aspect, that's huge. So there's times where I know I can even be better at it.